Have you ever experienced the feeling of losing a very dear friend? And it is true, sometimes we have to sever those ties. Hey guys, I'm Priscilla. Today I'm going to talk to you about how you save yourself by severing the ties with who you believe to be your friend. Sometimes, as we grow older and mature, there are things that we must let go. Just as when we were small children, as an infant, we had a pacifier. And when that pacifier no longer served us or we didn't really need it, we had to toss it and move on to something larger, bigger, and better. And this is how it is with some relationships. While it is hard to say goodbye, you may have outgrown something and you may have a little bit of guilt about leaving that something behind, but in actuality, it will serve you better to let it go so that you can come out and be the best version of yourself. Now, we see in relationships, as an example, people have been married for 50, 60, and 70 years, and they're hanging in there. And then we look at some that are together for once they set the date for the marriage, the ceremony has taken place, and 6 months to a year later, they are going their separate ways. They aren't willing to put in the time to salvage the relationship. One person may be willing, but if it's a relationship, it is two or more people, and they both will have to want to work on the relationship. If the two are not willing to work on the relationship together, sometimes it is better to just go your separate ways, and maybe you can find yourselves back together at some future date, but there is no guarantee. The one thing that I do know is self-care is of utmost importance. If you don't take care of yourself, no one is going to take care of you better than you can. So set yourself up for success by finding the best ways that you can to save your sanity, your sanctity, and live a good life. This is what I wish for you and what I share with you in this channel, in this community, as we talk together. What are some things that are working for you? What advice are you looking for? Sometimes it is just a matter of facing an issue and seeing how others are living, and then you can adapt. I'm actually reminded of the little folk tales that we were taught when we were growing up. There was always a moral in those stories that would help us as children to understand why being a bully did not serve a good purpose, why being afraid of something that you didn't understand was not healthy. But if you take the time to analyze, assess the situation, you will take the power away from that fear. And we learn those things from story tells. Now, I want to ask you, what story tale do you remember or folk tale do you remember as a young person growing up that had helped you overcome something that was a little stressful in your life? Type that in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, I do listen back to what you say or what you write, and I will comment to you when you do so. Now, my message also today contains information about personal peace. If you want personal peace, that means just you yourself. You need to find a quiet place where you can just interact with yourself. Sit with a cup of coffee, sit with a sandwich, and talk with yourself. Have a conversation with yourself. Ask yourself questions, come up with your answers, And you'll find that you have some insight into what it is that you need to do, who you are, and how you are going to reach that place where you can find contentment. There is joy and benefit with being with others, but there's a lot of joy and benefit in being with just yourself. When you find that you're spending time with yourself, this is something similar to cutting people off silently, giving yourself time to downsize your thoughts, giving yourself time to downsize the conversation that goes on in your head. And you're just sitting there in solitude, maybe with quiet music, let your Alexa play soothing sounds. That is spending quality time with yourself. When you spend quality time with yourself, you will be amazed at what you have learned or what you can learn about yourself without so much noise coming into your space. And you can do this without feeling guilty. If it has not brought you joy in the past, I want to encourage you and invite you to take time to find time for yourself. If you have to schedule it in 15 minutes a day, if you can't find more than 15 minutes, take that 15 minutes and be grateful for that and thank God that you have that 15 minutes, because there are some individuals, I believe, really do not have 15 minutes. Set boundaries, which might mean that you're cutting the ties to someone else, to something. You're just cutting the ties. Like, I just cannot be bothered with this at this time, and let it go. And when you let it go, it allows you the freedom to be you, become comfortable with being you. And if you did not know it, I want to tell you that no is a complete sentence. Learn how to say no, mean it, and don't give yourself or don't beat yourself up for what other people may think of you because you said no. This is allowing yourself the opportunity to express yourself without the fear of being judged. You know that this is good for you. Taking on something else is going to add more stress to an already stressed life. So say no and keep moving forward.